welcome back to the Kiwi Wedding Podcast. My name is Lydia. I'm an Auckland wedding photographer at Lydia Rachel Photography and your host. If you're newly engaged, deep in the planning process, or just looking for real stories and practical advice from Kiwi couples, you're in the right place. This week I'm joined by Carina, who shares the story of her beautiful Canterbury wedding at the Flaxmill. This is a relatively new venue and such a gorgeous spot. Honestly, it looks like you are in Europe, which we love. We chat all about her story, everything from a surprise proposal in Akaroa to discovering their very special venue, prioritizing what really mattered to them, navigating the guest list, budgeting, and why they planned their honeymoon before almost anything else. Carina shares so many thoughtful insights throughout this conversation, especially around creating a wedding that feels true to you rather than getting caught up in trends or outside expectations, which is so easy to do. Before we jump in, if you're not already a part of it, I would love for you to come and join our private Facebook group community. I will link it in the show notes for you. It's a supportive space where Kiwi couples can ask questions, share recommendations, get inspiration, and connect with others planning their weddings. And keep an eye out, exciting news, I'll be announcing the podcast live event dates very soon. We've had such an amazing response to our Auckland events over the past couple of years, and I can't wait to share what's coming up next. Now let's get into this week's conversation. Enjoy episode 153 with Carina. Hi, Carina. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. Excited to hear all about your wedding.
Thanks for having me.
So to get started with, if you could just tell us a bit about you and your husband and the kind of story of how you met.
So my husband's name is Fletcher, and we actually met at church back in 2021, and we both, when we first met each other, I genuinely would say it was love at first sight. We met each other, and then straight away, I guess, felt very attracted to each other, and then we were friends for a little bit of a couple years as well, just as we got to know each other, and then started dating and fell in love very quickly. I think we were planning, even before we were officially dating, we were planning how many kids we were going to have and where in the world we're going to live, and kind of planning all of that. And so that's what I do. I'm employed at a church as a youth pastor, and then my husband is a qualified builder, but he's also studying at the moment as well.
Beautiful. And so you dated for a little while, then got engaged. Can you tell us a bit about the proposal story?
Yeah, so my sister and my best friend, they had invited me out on a day trip to Akaroa, which is a little bit out of Christchurch. And I had plans that day, and so I had said no. And then all of a sudden, I think midday, they FaceTimed me, and they were like, my car's broken down. I need you to come and pick us up. And it was a little bit inconvenient because, I had a few different plans throughout the day. But, so my husband, my boyfriend at the time, we both hopped in the car, and then we drove an hour and a half out to Akaroa. And I was under the impression that we were going to go pick them up because the tow truck was coming to take them, and they didn't have a ride. And they had lifted up the bonnet on FaceTime and pretended like they were looking through the engine. I don't know, I was just completely oblivious. And then we pulled up. So we're tracking their location, and they weren't on the main street, but they were just in this random side, suburban area of Akaroa. And we pulled up to a park right as the sun was setting. And then my partner got out of the car, and I was like, this is so strange. I don't know where they are. I can't see their car. And then he just started sobbing. He got out of the car, and he just started crying. And then I finally clicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think that he's about to propose. And then so we got out of this park, and it was so beautiful. It overlooks the water, and the sun was setting, and there was a little picnic laid out, and then he popped the question there. Really special. And I was just, I think, in complete shock. And as soon as he started sobbing and I finally clicked, we were both just in tears. I don't even really remember what he said or how it went after that, but it was really special.
Oh, so sweet. Just so overwhelmed with the emotions. But yeah, definitely got the surprise with the fake rescue story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah.
So you had kind of like talked about dreaming about your future and your life. Were you one of those girls that kind of thought about your wedding, what you wanted it to look like, and like a venue, all of that? Where did you start with planning?
I was one of those girls who was crazy. And in high school, I started my wedding Pinterest board.
So
And
good.
so when we actually got engaged, it was so funny to look back and see what I had liked and pinned 10 years ago in comparison to now. So yeah, I definitely was someone who had loved the idea of a wedding and yeah, planning and having, like that really special day. And actually, when it came down to it, part of me also wanted to elope. I really love the idea of taking our friends, our close friends, and our like immediate family away to a little island or somewhere in Europe and just like booking out an Airbnb and doing it that style. But as we came down to it, we actually realized there were so many important people in our lives that we wanted to have there for that significant moment. And you actually do only get married once. And so we had kind of decided that we were going to fully commit to the wedding. Things sort of, slowly fell into place. And finding our venue, my friend Emma actually just stumbled across it on Instagram and she sent it to me one day and she was like, you should just check out this place. And we had a little list of things that we were really wanting to have. We had non-negotiables and then we also had, these are just some added extras. And the venue that we had kind of just checked all the boxes. So we kind of just felt like it was the right place and it kind of went from there.
So cool. It was such a beautiful venue. And is it quite new, like, or hasn't been doing events for that
Yeah,
long? Yeah.
I think it's been running for about a year now. The people who run it, Ben and his partner, they, I think they got married there and then a year later decided to kind of open it up as a wedding venue for other couples as well, which is cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, you touched on kind of having a bit of a list and sort of non-negotiables, which is kind of my next question. What were like the most important elements of the day for you, your top priorities?
As I mentioned, me and my partner met at church, and so faith's a really big aspect of our day. And so I guess we wanted it to be super God centered in all that we did. But also, like me and my husband, we just love to have fun. Like, we love a good dance floor. We love to laugh together. We love to celebrate, and we love having good food. And so we wanted it to be a day that was fun and a day that also had a lot of peace as well. And my family, I'm part Japanese and Italian, and so the dream was to kind of have it like a family style day and have that kind of relational feel to it, I guess, like a big family. And one of our priorities, as we kind of discussed, we found was photography and being able to capture the day really well. It's one day and everything passes, and your memory gets a bit fuzzy and it fades over time. But photography and the videos are something that you can actually hold onto and look back at years later, something that you can show your kids. Yeah, just a really tangible way to look back on the day. And so that was something that we really wanted to invest into. Once we realized, okay, we're going to commit to actually holding, a proper wedding. Also, just like the dress and not being afraid to invest into this day because it does only happen once and you want to feel the most beautiful and you want to feel the most comfortable and you want your guests to feel comfortable as well. And so I think we wanted to prioritize almost the feeling of the day as opposed to the aesthetics or the other things that I guess just fade over time.
Beautiful, love that. Sounds like you went in with a really great mindset. And I think it's important to kind of think about what your values are and then, like the feeling you want on the day as well. So beautiful. How did you go with the dress shopping process? Did you go to a few places? Yeah, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I went to two places. I was one of those insane brides. Well, I wasn't even a bride at this point, but I had flown up to Auckland for a concert with some friends and I just booked on a whim an appointment to go to a bridal boutique. And I think it was the first or second dress that I tried on. And of course, it was out of our budget that we had like, in mind. But yeah, I just tried it on and I fell in love. I went to I think another place in Christchurch where I'm from, and there were a few nice dresses, but I just like had this dress on the back of my mind for ages. And then, yeah, so it was kind of like, I don't know, set from the start, I guess. And then I just
Yeah.
didn't really think of anything else, or once you tried it on, nothing else really compared. So, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. You looked so stunning in your photos as well. Gorgeous. And did you have a bridal party too? And how did you go with choosing them? Was that easy for you?
It was actually really difficult. My husband has two brothers, and then he's got best friends from, I guess, a lot of different circles, like his old high school friends, childhood best friends, and then friends that are in current walks of life as well, that he does a lot of life with now. And so he wanted five, which is really cool. I think honestly, we could have had 10 if we wanted to. Yeah, we've got a lot of incredible people in our lives. But in terms of choosing the bridal party, our thought process was who plays a really big role in our lives right now in the present, because I think your wedding day is kind of a stamp of where you are in that moment. And so we picked who is, our closest people right now, and then also who's played a significant part in our relationship, or who do we see playing a significant part in our relationship and lives going forward. And so that was kind of the thought process in terms of picking the bridal party.
So good. Yeah, it's good to have not like strategy. I don't know, that kind of sounds bad, but yeah,
Kind of like a lens that you look through, you know?
yeah, totally. So good. And how about the guest list? Did you, yeah, how many did you have? And was that tricky to narrow down?
Yeah, well, as I said, I was kind of so fine with just getting married on an island with just our family. So it was definitely a little bit difficult. Yeah, we're super, like, we love people. And so I think for me, it was almost easier just to shut the doors and have immediate family because the decision making was so hard. But the capacity of the venue indoors was 100 people, and so we kind of like the idea of, you know that's how we're limited to, and so we kind of based it around that. I think it was quite difficult. My husband comes from a really big family, and with me being on staff at a church, we're both super involved. You have a lot of people in your circle, and so that was quite difficult. But the one thing that we really wanted to prioritize was first family. And so we just prioritized having all the aunties and uncles and cousins there, and then our closest kind of friends after that as well.
Yeah, and did you meet that 100 in the end?
We actually didn't. We had 100, and then we had our bridal party, which was 12 total.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So kind of just with the same as the bridal party, we were looking at who has played a significant role in our lives as a couple. And then there were some people that we also wanted to honor and celebrate from the past as well. But also who's in our lives right now that we want here for this milestone. It's
Yeah,
so
so
hard.
good.
I don't know
So
anyone who's had
tricky.
an experience. So yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it helps to have, yeah, a few of those questions you're thinking about, or like, yeah, where people fit in your life. And it feels a bit savage when you have to cross people off the list. But yeah, practically it has to be done. But yeah, nice number to land on. Can you tell us a bit about the day, maybe the lead up to it, and yeah, just run us through how it all went? Any highlights, favorite moments? Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to be organized and planned, and plan everything out and have a schedule. But it's a day and you can't actually control everything. And I think on the day you just have to relinquish control, which is actually so difficult for me.
Yeah.
Um, but I think at the end of the day, there are just some things that are out of your control. Like we were running super late because my sister took a wrong turn, and then the roads were closed because there was a marathon going on. And yeah, just little elements like that. But I think that the little stories of things that went wrong almost added to how special the day was. Like it just is unique and fun and funny to look back on. To our like wedding rehearsal, my car, I drove it through a river and I got stuck and I had to get
Oh,
rescued. And we weren't even stressed. Like it was me, my bride, like some of my bridesmaids, and we were just having the best time. And so I almost look back at the things that went wrong, and it's actually like a really sweet and like a lovely
it's like
memory to look
fun
back.
memories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think that the day just felt like us. And I think it was just so like you're marrying the love of your life. And so I think it was just actually just so special. And you don't really get opportunities to have all your favorite people in a room like that. And so I think just to be able to celebrate and yeah, I think it was something that we were wanting to do for such a long time that it was so surreal when we were there. Like it felt like we were dreaming. And so yeah, it was really special.
Beautiful. Do you mind sort of like running us through the timeline of the day a bit and yeah, just like how everything went?
Yeah, so I think our ceremony started at 2 o'clock, but obviously I the roads were closed and we missed a turn, and so I think it started probably about like half an hour late. And so it started at 2, and then we had the ceremony outdoors, and then we had a big afternoon tea with our friends and family. So we did like a big grazing platter with like breads and cheeses, and then as I mentioned, I'm Japanese, so we had some sushi and stuff like that, and then some photos, and then we went off to a private venue to take some photos after that, just with me and my husband, and then came back, had the reception. One of our like favorite parts of the day was definitely the dance floor. Like me and my husband, we just love to have fun together and we love to dance. And so I think there'd been so much of a lead up, there's so much planning and so much goes into the wedding day that after the reception with the speeches and everything, it's kind of like, okay, the pressure's all off, everything's done, like let's actually just celebrate. And so it was just so incredible being able to just have fun and dance and celebrate with our friends and family. And it's genuinely like my favorite dance floor ever. And I just had the best time. And yeah, it was just real special to be in the room with, yeah, our favorite people for sure.
Oh, so beautiful. Yeah, so rare to have all those people
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't often happen. So many cool moments in there. What did you find like the hardest part about wedding planning? Is there anything you look back on and regret or would have done a little differently?
I would definitely say, yeah, I think as I mentioned, the guest list is actually so difficult and trying to make everyone happy as well. I think that yeah, you've got to remember that for the parents, obviously it's not their day, but it is also like their kids only get married once as well. And so it's actually a really significant moment for them as well. And so we wanted to honor them. But then also, sometimes there are just opposing opinions, or, you have to make a decision that might not make one person happy, but might make another person happy. And so I think that was quite difficult. Friends, families, schedules, and budgets as well. So that was definitely a little bit difficult, but I think what was awesome in all of that was that me and Fletcher, like, we just worked as a team. Like, it didn't feel like I was just this one person planning a wedding, but we were making all the decisions together. And so that was really special. Yeah.
Oh, so nice. Did you guys have like a wedding planner or coordinator or someone kind of helping on the day?
We didn't, but I have some incredible friends, and we had some really, yeah, we were just really blessed in terms of a support network. Like, I've had a bunch of friends who just recently got married, and so they had kind of just been through it all. And then, yeah, so they were able to add like wisdom and insight from that. And so I feel like that was really good. And then I also just am really blessed to have some friends, I guess, in the industry, like photographer friends and friends who, yeah, are just involved in that field. And so they were actually so generous with their time and their resources and their wisdom and advice. And so didn't necessarily have a wedding planner or coordinator, but we definitely had people who were helping on the day to kind of produce and keep things on track. I think I made like a 20-page document, like an
Yeah,
insane person, and I put it on a clipboard for my for
so
my
good.
friend who was helping out. Yeah.
I love that. So good. I think when you're kind of super organized in the lead up and then you can kind of just hand it over or delegate to who you need to on the day and then everything runs smoothly. Did you guys have a set wedding budget or how did you go with that side of things? Did anything surprise you? How much weddings cost? All of that?
Yeah, well, I think I definitely knew,
Mm.
whereas I feel like I don't know.
It's often need to educate the groom.
He
Yeah.
he was like thinking that you could get a wedding dress for $500, and then he just saw that like we'd spend like $30 on the bouquets,
Oh,
and so I think it was definitely like an adjustment for him. Even just things like the first dress that I tried on, or the first or second dress I tried on, I fell in love with, and it was actually extremely over budget from what we had decided. But I think, like I said, we kind of went with that mentality of actually, this is only going to happen once. And so we want it to be, a really special day where we feel the most comfortable and are just like super happy and don't ever regret the decisions that we make. And so there were some things that I was like, okay, I personally love this dress so much and I am willing to just add the extra cost and save up a little bit extra and just put my own money into it. Yeah, and so I think we definitely did go over budget. I think at the end we were just like we had a spreadsheet of things, estimated cost, actual cost. We stopped using that, I think maybe like 2 or 3 months out. But yeah,
Gets to that point for
yes,
sure. I think a
yep.
lot of brides will relate to that, and yeah, kind of just stop counting. But yes, makes so much sense. Did you guys go on honeymoon straight away? What did planning that look like?
Yeah, our honeymoon was actually one of the first elements that we planned, which I would so recommend that to other brides planning a wedding. We really wanted to invest into our first few weeks as a married couple together. And I think, you've planned this big wedding and you actually do want to relax and enjoy a nice holiday. And so we found that prioritizing that, first of all, financially, like having that as our first priority in our budget, but then also it gave us something to look forward to when wedding planning got stressful, when there were different opinions or whatever that looked like. Actually, we knew that's fine because in a couple months we're going to be on an island, we're going to be relaxing on holiday, and so it was almost like not an end in sight, but just something to look forward to, and so it was really special, yeah, having that, planning that at the start. And then it just meant that we could prioritize it because you only, like I said, you only get married once, but you only go on honeymoon once as well. And so we really wanted to invest in that and kind of go all out and really enjoy that as well.
So good. I love that. It's like an extra reward on top of
Yeah.
just being married as well. But yeah, I haven't really heard people talk about prioritizing that first. So it's such a cool way to do it. Where did you end up going?
We went to Rarotonga, which was nice. It was
Nice.
like so close to New Zealand, just lie on a beach. It was so beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful. And yeah, you mentioned kind of having some helpful friends and people in the industry. Was there any other kind of helpful resources you used during the planning process for like finding vendors or inspiration, stuff like that?
Honestly, I would say because I've had so many friends who've gotten married in the past year or two, actually just real brides were so helpful. I'm like, oh, I wish that I knew of a podcast where, there were New Zealanders who are getting married and that could offer wisdom and stuff like that. Yeah, just things like Pinterest. But I would also definitely say there were friends who had already done the research and done the work, looking at venues, figuring out prices, working with caterers and photographers. And so actually speaking to real brides was really helpful. Honest feedback of things that worked well for them. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. It's hard to beat that first-hand experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big part of this podcast too, obviously. Yeah, did you have any sort of like highlight standout vendors?
We had Lucas Winters, and he is actually, we've like, me and Lucas have known each other for years and years, like over 10 years. And so he was actually there, him and his wife were there when Fletcher first met my parents. And yeah, so they were meeting, I think, even before we were dating. And so it was really full circle, kind of actually having Lucas be a part of the wedding and shoot. And he was incredible. We caught up before we got married. He offered a bunch of advice. But yeah, the same with Hope Patterson. She, yeah, just gave some great advice in terms of like timeline and schedules and things to prioritize as well. So they were amazing.
So good, beautiful. And you, yeah, got on Pinterest again. Did you find it like hard or overwhelming at all the kind of content, seeing everything on social media, or did you have quite like a clear vision from the get-go?
Yeah, I think it was hard. I just saw a lot of comments about things that are going to be timeless and things that are going to be trends. And I think for me, I actually wrote on the top of my planning doc, if this wasn't going to be on social media or if no one else was going to see it, would you still do it? Because I think that there has kind of been this rise of a wedding being put on for to be almost like a show or an event, or yeah, like a marketing ploy almost. And I think that we just wanted it to feel us, and we wanted it to be authentic. And if it was never going to be broadcasted, if it was just going to be kept for us, would we still make those same decisions? Would we still invest in the things that we're spending money on? And yeah, also, your wedding is at a certain point in time. And so I think that it is going to maybe look like some of the trends or some of the things that are in style right now. And it might become outdated, it might become oversaturated. But actually, that's so okay. And if it's something that you love and enjoy right now, I think that it's totally fine to prioritize that. And so I did almost have to put, once I had made those decisions, I almost had to put social media and Pinterest kind of on the back burner to just, yeah, make sure that I was happy, and yeah, not get so caught up in the idea of comparison as well.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. It's really cool to have as like a guiding principle
Yeah.
or wisdom, or yeah, because so often we do just think like, oh, will this look cool on Instagram? Even if you're not, you're kind of just like subconsciously imagining it. But yeah, trying to just think about what you actually love, what represents you as a couple, and it's not like a performative thing,
Yeah.
which is yeah super tricky in the world we live in. And yeah, the comparison is huge with social media and everything. But yeah, that's a great idea. I think people put it on their planners or their wedding docs. Yeah, great one to remember. Yeah, you've given some amazing advice already. Is there anything else you would say to a couple planning their wedding at the moment?
Yeah, just as I said, it is your day. And so don't feel like it has to be traditional. There were some things that we cut out. We, instead of doing a first dance to like a slow song, I think we just came out to our favorite karaoke song that we sing together, and we just like had a big dance party from the get go. But don't feel like it has to be traditional. If there's elements that don't feel like you, or elements that you aren't comfortable with, you don't actually have to put them in. Obviously, there's traditional things like the vows and the signing that you actually legally have to do. But outside of that, yeah, do what makes you happy, and you only get this day once. And so I think worrying too much about what other people think or other people's opinions is actually probably just going to weigh you down a little bit. Just do whatever makes you happy, whatever that looks like, I would say for sure.
Yeah, beautiful. Love that. And what is married life like now? Do you feel like you got the post wedding blues afterwards?
I love being married. Married life is, yeah, it's so special. It's the best. I think that I thought I was so happy dating Fletcher, and I just thought it was the greatest thing ever, and I felt so in love. But yeah, I think I really felt a shift when we got married. Yeah, it's just your person, and it's, your person for life, and it's now your family. And I think it's just so beautiful and special. And yeah, being married has genuinely made me feel more in love and be happier than I was when I was just dating. And I didn't think that was possible. But yeah, I think yeah, it's been really, really special to share a life with someone. In terms of post wedding blues, I feel like we've kind of still been in the throes of wedding season with other close friends and family. But planning a wedding is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
I actually think I'm so happy. I mean, we might plan a big event like a birthday or like 30th or something, but I think I'm very happy to just have done it once and then to
Yeah.
leave it there. But also now I know how much work goes into it, and like it is a really special day. I would so be happy to fulfill like if I've got post wedding blues, I'm just going to go and help my friends and be involved in their day, in whatever way that they want me. Yeah, I would say not necessarily, but I can definitely see how some people could feel that way.
For sure. There's sometimes a bit of relief, like
Yeah.
not that, yeah, you're happy it's over, but like, yeah, the planning is a lot and can be stressful. But yeah, also so cool that you have a lot of your friends sort of in the same season as you, and all helping each other, and then fun to be in a bridal party or a guest instead of, yeah, planning it all yourself. So yeah, I love that. Amazing. It's been so lovely to chat to you today. Is there anything else that we missed or you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I think that's all. Yeah, I think for all the brides, advice is incredible, and I love tips and things to think about. Oh, one thing I would say is give yourself plenty of time to get ready. and be dressed and ready sooner than you think you need to be. Because I think that, you want to give space to take time to take photos and like actually just breathe and feel comfortable. That is one thing that I would definitely say. And then if anything runs late, then you've kind of got like sleeve time. Sleeve time is it's so good. But yeah, I think do whatever makes you happy is what I would say. Yeah.
I love it. Such a good piece of advice. I see that a lot on wedding mornings as a photographer, and it's just like so chill and relaxed. And then it's like suddenly half an hour to leave, and everyone's panicking. But I honestly think if you can be dressed even like an hour before you plan to leave, and then you can just have a drink, have
Yeah.
some photos, like
Yeah.
sit down for a minute. Yeah, just to like make that morning even more calm. Or if anything does happen, like you
Yeah.
say, you have that time up your sleeve. So,
Yes. I would also say, and on top of giving yourself, yeah, time to get ready, sleeve time kind of blocks throughout, going from the ceremony to the photos, just like putting time aside to connect or have a moment with your husband or your partner, I think is really beautiful and special after the ceremony to just have a moment to actually process what's happening. The day goes so fast. And so I think, yeah, even just like I would schedule 2 minutes, 5 minutes to actually just like be alone together, celebrate, breathe, connect. If you want to do that with your best friend, or if you want to connect with, yeah, take a moment with your parents to actually just like be intentional and make that time. We were super intentional and kind of just like trying to stick together the whole day as well, because there's people from both sides that might want to talk to you from your family, or your partner's high school friends or whatever, but just yeah, kind of experiencing the day together and kind of just walking through it hand in hand. I think it's super easy to kind of go off. We really loved experiencing the day together and walking through it together as well. Was, yeah, really nice.
I love that. Such good advice. I think, yeah, it's can fly by like everybody says, it goes
Yeah.
so quickly. But yeah, being really intentional about that, like quality time with special people, and then yeah, experiencing it all together, like having those shared memories. Cool. Thank you so much. I think yeah, this episode will definitely help some brides, and yeah, you've got some great perspective and wisdom there. So, and yeah, we'll share some of your photos too. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.